Hi, everybody. So, to start this off, this is a presentation of an update on my research for Capstone. And as you can see, I included a picture of my smiling, happy face, since this is primarily going to consist of me narrating through a series of beheading images. So, I wanted to start off on a good note that all is well. So far, so good. So yeah, let's get started. So to refresh everyone's memories, I'm focusing for Capstone on the bronze sculptural group of the beheading of St. John the Baptist, completed by Vincenzo Danti in 1571. This group was located formerly on the top of the south doors of the baptistry, as you can see in the left image, but it has moved to the museum that we visited with Professor Bourne's class, where it can be found today. So since our last meeting 2 weeks ago, I've mainly been thinking about the direction I want to take for this paper. The main guiding question I have right now is, why does this group look the way that it does? So I'm very intrigued by the visual differences between the beheading on the south doors and the mosaic of the beheading inside of the baptistry. So the one on the south doors you can see on the far right, and the mosaic is on the far left with the Vincenzo Danti sculptural group located in the center. I know there's like a lot going on this slide, but just bear with me. I just wanted to juxtapose all of these images together. So I'm intrigued by the differences between these three works because they're located on the same monument, but they're not really consistent, and I'm very curious as to why that is. I mean, so far I have observed that if you really look close enough, Dante's sculptural group almost appears to be somewhat like of a combination of the two works. So the stance of the executioner and St. John kneeling in prayer on Andrea Pisano's doors, it's similar to the stance of the executioner in the sculptural group, as well as St. John kneeling in prayer. And then with the mosaic, you can see that the reaction of Salome is very similar, it's just flipped. So with all of that being said, my current idea of where to take this paper would be to do an iconographical approach with the intention of indicating where Dante's sculptural group fits into the larger tradition of depicting this particular subject matter. So I'm very interested in discovering the ways in which Dante adopts and departs from tradition and possible reasons for the adoptions and departures. So if I take this approach, then I would probably limit the works I'd compare with the group to images of the beheading of St. John found in Florence. So in Florence, aside from the south doors and the mosaic inside the baptistry, images of the beheading of St. John the Baptist I have found so far an emphasis on the so far because I am sure there are more out there than these few that I have found. I just need to do a little bit more digging and research. So the first one, the earliest one I've seen so far is Giotto's Feast of Herod in the Peruzzi Chapel. I'm sure you're all familiar with this image. Then we also have Domenico Ghirlandaio's Herod's Banquet, found in the Tornabuoni Chapel in Santa Maria Novella, which we visited a few weeks ago with Professor Bourne's class, so I'm sure you all remember this. And another one I've found in Florence is Andrea del Sarto's beheading of St. John the Baptist in the cloister of the Scalzo. So it's the entryway to the confraternity of St. John the Baptist. Then, in addition to these frescoes that I found around Florence, we also have many prints of the subject matter that widely circulated and probably made its way to Florence. And this is just one of the many examples. This is Albrecht Dürer's woodcut print of the beheading. So I also plan to read guidebooks and works by period writers who may have mentioned this sculptural group, and by doing so, I'm hoping it will give me an idea of how the work was perceived by early modern viewers. So this is basically where I'm at right now. I definitely have a lot of reading and research yet to do. As for feedback from my colleagues and professors, I am mainly looking forward to hearing your thoughts and suggestions and comments on this approach that I have in mind. Do you think it's promising? Do you think it's too basic? I mean, yes, I have, like I said, a lot of research yet to do, but I'm wondering if this, as in Nelson's words, has legs. But yeah. So thank you, and I'm excited to see what you all are up to as well. Bye.